Imagine a company is considering a new software solution. The sales reps opens the door, but then the customer really wants to know, does this software really fit my specific needs? This is where pre-sales comes in. Hi there, for the past 8 years, I've been working in pre-sales both in the fintech and e-commerce industry. On these channels, I help ambitious professionals transition their career into pre-sales. Today, I'm going to talk about why pre-sales is important, what is the difference between pre-sales and post-sales, what are the key areas of the customer journey that pre-sales professionals have an influence on, what makes solutions engineers and sales engineers successful in pre-sales, and then finally, I'm going to demystify the top 3 myths of working in pre-sales. Let's get started. Pre-sales is also known as solutions engineering or sales engineering, is the process of helping prospective customers understand, evaluate, and gain confidence in the product that they're buying before they buy it. Pre-sales is often talked about in contrast to post-sales because pre-sales focuses on everything that happens before a deal is closed, whereas post-sales focuses on everything that happens after the deal is closed. So what are the steps in the customer journey that pre-sales professionals work on? First of all, understanding the customer needs, in particular understanding the challenges that a customer is facing. If there are no challenges, there is no pain, a customer will never buy. Solutions engineers, they talk to clients and they try and understand what are the challenges that they're facing, but also how these challenges have an effect on the whole organization and in particular on core KPIs of the organization. So if a challenge is very operational or is very small, it's not going to be big enough for a company to decide to go through a complete software migration. Pre-sales professionals need to be very good at asking specific questions, but also bridging the gap between technology and business. Having very strong business acumen is extremely important because discovering pains or challenges that do not have an impact on the business, whether it's on revenue, on cost, or on effort, doesn't result in a successful sale.
If you're ready to take the next step in your career, make sure you download my free guide where I explain my exact process on how I got a high-paid tech job without any prior experience. Now let's get back to the video.
The second step that pre-sales professionals focus on is designing solutions that meet the customer's needs. The reason why pre-sales professionals exist is typically in industries where the softwares are particularly complex and they also have a high degree of customization. When software can really be customized and tailored to specific needs, that's when pre-sales professionals, by having a very good understanding of how the product works and what are the capabilities but also the limitations of the product, they're able to design a customized solution that fits the product needs. I'll give you an example from my industries. I work with clients in the retail space. One of the biggest solutions is, how do I set up my complex discounting strategy? So they may want to do some cross-sells and upsells or have some discounts for their employees. And every software may be able to do this slightly differently. One of my goals is understanding how they're doing things today, but also what promotional strategies they want to implement in the future, and explain to them how our software can specifically design and implement those promotional strategies, but also how does our software connect to external systems that they have. One big part of a solution engineering role is designing the future tech architecture. So understanding how the software fits in a landscape of additional softwares and tools that the customer is already using. In the case of promotional strategy, this may be the CRM. Solution design can involve many different activities. It could be, as I said, a tech architecture, a workshop where we present the theory and the practice. It could also be coming up with a specific proof of concept or a demo. This is normally separate from solution design and it's called the demonstration phase, which really means putting in practice the specific solution that has been proposed to the client. This often means doing a tailored proof of concept where we use our software to implement a couple of key workflows that demonstrate how our software solves the specific challenges and needs of our customer. The final phase of the pre-sales journey is typically business case and commercials. No one would buy a software or go through a migration process purely based on functionality and software capabilities. What they need to know is that the investment that they've made to migrate, to do all this work, to get off of their current solution is actually worth it from a business perspective. So a big role of pre-sales professional is work in tandem with the sales rep or the account executive to come up with a business case. What are the costs of the solution, both from an implementation and an ongoing costs, and what is the return that we are expecting to happen in 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. This is called ROI and it's part of presenting the business value of the software. So assuming everything goes well, we have negotiated on price, we've presented the business value, the budget is being signed off, that's when the contracting phase happens, and then that's when the deal is signed. When the deal is signed, pre-sales professionals hand over the project to post-sales. This could be a customer success manager and a post-sales solution engineer who works with the brand and oftentimes with implementation partners on delivering a successful project and also resolving any escalation and any problems that may arise during the implementation phase. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about this handover process and how post-sales and pre-sales work together, leave me a comment below and I'm happy to do a dedicated video on this. I hope by now you understand why pre-sales is so important. Pre-sales really bridges the gap between business and technologies. Pre-sales professionals need to know the product really well, but also understand the business needs of the industry and the prospect that we're talking to. And they need to be able to connect the dots between what the software can do and what the customer is looking to do and how we can actually help solve specific challenges and get the customer to their dream scenario. When it's well done, pre-sales increases the customer confidence, improves win rates, and creates long-term success of the project. Let's now address some common misconceptions around what pre-sales do and what they actually don't. Number one misconception, pre-sales does only demo. If you find yourself in a company where the account executive only talks to you when they want a demo, you're absolutely doing it wrong. My approach is that a solution engineer should never do a demo unless they have a really good understanding of what are the key challenges and how these challenges have an impact on the overall organization and the top line and bottom line of the company. Number two, pre-sales is only technical. Yes, a technical acumen and understanding of the features and capabilities and limitations of the platform, being able to understand the technology, yes, they are absolutely important, but pre-sales is extremely business driven. In my experience, the best pre-sales professionals are extremely good at sales, but they're also extremely good at understanding technology. So they're able to both relate to the CTOs and the head of tech, but they're also able to speak to the commercial executive. And finally, pre-sales is not post-sales. I see a lot of people in pre-sales that instead of focusing on actually selling the value of the solution, they focus on solving minute problems and getting into the weeds of how something is going to be implemented. The role of pre-sales is not solving every single detail of how the solution is going to be implemented and checking every potential gap that the solution will have. The role of pre-sales is making sure that the software can meet the challenges that the potential customer is trying to solve. It's not to check every single thing. And that is often a big mistake I see junior pre-sales professionals make, is that they spend so much time trying to validate every single aspect of the solution that they never actually get to the final sell. I hope this video was useful. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.